What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator with me, the Virtual Mechanic. And today is the new release of the China DLC from Petrod Games. And let's take a look and see what we've got here. I'm looking forward to some of these. They're a bit random, and they're a bit wacky, and they're a bit wild. And I'm kind of on board for that. I like it. So let's have a look. This is the first one. And to be honest, I don't think I'm going to try and pronounce any of these. Zhonghua Zongying? I don't know, and I'm really sorry if I've offended anybody with that. I did not mean to. This is our little off-road trucky thing. I don't even know if this is actually four-wheel drive. Let's have a look. Is it four-wheel drive? It doesn't look like it. It is just rear-wheel drive, so probably won't be good off-road. Although that's probably where we're going to take this bad boy anyway. So yeah, this is the first one. And it's only got the one config. All of these do only have the one config. This is available from all of the places. You can get it absolutely anywhere. And I quite like that. I haven't adjusted that. That's just how it came for me. The engine in it is the i4 1.6 litre single overhead cam rear wheel drive engine. Could have checked that to see if it was four wheel drive. With only 138 horsepower. It's looking cool. It's sort of got like a bit of a military vibe to it. Not quite sure what we're going to do with it yet. And yes, it does come with this camo livery. In the next spot, and this is probably my favourite of the whole DLC, I do love a square-bodied pickup truck, although this is a little bit long. But this is the Yunbao Yilong. Again, I'm sorry if I've offended everybody. It is available from all of the places, so you don't have to worry about that. And the engine in this one is the V6 double overhead cam CHG engine with 302 factory horsepower. It's looking cool. It's a pickup truck. We like a pickup truck. Looking pretty awesome. I do believe that none of these have any new engines, no new rims, no new interiors, no new steering wheels or anything like that. It's just what was already in the game. And in the third spot, obviously, is a one more. That's the one we're going to be working on today. This is the third one. This is the Zhuyang Qinfeng. Don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, or at least attempt to. You're not going to be able to in the comments, but there we go. Available in all the places again, and this one is a very little cool car. Unsure what to do with it yet, but the engine in it is the i4 1.6 litre single overhead cam rear-wheel drive engine again with 138 factory horsepower. Oh, jumpy game. Oh, very jumpy game. Where are we going? Back to the car, please. Thank you very much. There we go. This is the third one that we will be doing. I'm not sure which order to do these in yet, so let me know in the comments below, and we will have a break because I will be making the Mercedes 300 SL for the competition before we finish. But on to what we're going to be working on today. Let's get inside. In we go. This is the stretch limousine. Don't know what else to call this one apart from the Longteng Fuyuan. I don't know. Again, I apologize if I've offended anybody. It's also available in all of the places, so we don't have to worry about that. And the engine in this one is the V8 one carb overhead valve with 269 factory horsepower. Did we get a good deal on this one? Absolutely not. I bought it for 23,750 and could sell it for 19,050, losing out on 4,700. What do you think we should do with this one today? I'm obviously going to customize it, make it look as cool as I can. And I will say right now, we do have the TKAftermarket mod active, so some things will not be quite the same. And if I just jump straight in, this rear drive axle, whatever you want to call it, is not the one you will have in the normal game. This is the TKAftermarket one. It swaps them out, so you will just get the base standard normal one that doesn't have all of these cut out bits and all the extra bits on the end there. So that won't be included in the normal version of the DLC, but the rest of this is going to be pretty standard. I will obviously be painting things differently with the quality of life mod. Maybe I might try and paint some of these bumpers. We shall see when we get there a little bit later. What am I talking about? You've already seen the thumbnail. Have I painted the bumpers? Let me know. So this is what we're going to be working on today, and I'm kind of in my head, I'm thinking we're going to drag race it just for a bit of fun, because I just kind of want to see what it can do on the drag strip with a limousine. That's weird, but I'm kind of going to design it as if it was my show car, my show party car. Like if I got invited to the YouTube award ceremony, this is what I would rock up in just for some funsies. Unsure what we're going to do with that engine, but it does look complete in there. We're missing anything from the engine bay? Doesn't look like it. That's always good. But there we go. This is what we're going to be doing today. What do you think of the new China DLC? I'm looking forward to getting through the rest of them, seeing how cool they all are. Just some random vehicles. I do always like new content. So let's get started. Let's get this into the car wash. Let's get it cleaned up. In the car wash with the Longteng looking a bit dirty. So let's get it cleaned for definite. I don't think there's any liveries on this, but they do all come with liveries, I believe. So we'll check them out a little bit later on. All nice and cleaned. It's very rusty. That's going to be bad. Let's get the interior done. Get this one back on the lifter. Start tearing everything out. Get this one ready to go back all shiny and new. Looking $1 million. Let's check for the oil pan. It is in there, so we do need to get that one all drained out. How is this Chinese limo been looked after? Not very well at all. That oil was thick and black and not much of it. But let's jump in underneath and get started with removing some things from here. Now, first thing I'm going to notice is the drive shaft is missing as it stands at the moment. We can't even add it because we are missing stuff from that rear drive axle. So we'll sort that one out a little bit later on. But let's get started with the starter. And then we'll get this lovely gearbox out of here as well with a couple of rusty bolts just to get us going. Off you come and out you come. Nice and easy. And we will also grab these front exhaust sections just to make sure we don't miss them. There we go. Let's get you back down on the ground and try and pull that V8 out of there. And see if we did get it all. I'm sure we did, but let's check nonetheless. Open the lovely hood, and out you come. There we go. That is what we like. Nice and easy. Then what have we got going on inside the engine bay? We already know there's nothing missing. We checked that earlier. So we've got a fuse box on the sidewall there, the brake servo, the wishy-washy reservoir, the lovely battery, and obviously the radiator that does contain all of the coolant. We don't need to worry about a coolant tank. It comes straight out of here. No power steering, so if we might struggle to drive this one like French Toast Fiesta the other day. Fuel tank and a fuel pump just down the back. And that's basically it. Nice and simple engine bay there. Can I get back to the front, please? Thank you very much. Let's get the liquids drained out of here and see what we've got going on. So you know how to do it. Nice and simple. Right-click, additional tools, drain tool. And I'm going to click and hold on the radiator, because that one needs draining. We're going to get the rest of this all stripped out. When we come back, it'll be time to sort out this beautiful limousine's bodywork before seeing what we can do in the paint shop. That's everything repaired, replaced or upgraded, ready for this to go back together. But before we can get to that, we need to start stripping off this body and seeing what we got. Fender and headlight there, off with the hood. Front bumper with some extra headlights on it. Is the grille anything? No, it is not. Fender from that side missing. Windshield out. Doors out, out you come, out you come. A rear body window just there. Then we've got the rear window, the trunk, the tail lights. Out you come, a rear bumper. Let's not forget that license plate in there. Tail light as well. Anything else down the back? Doesn't look like it. Body window, door, and fender. That's it. Let's get in this interior. I'm liking this little setup. This is officially the front right seat, so it should be the passenger seat. So it shouldn't auto put you in there to drive. And then we've got the front bench. So let's get all of this. That's the wrong button. Let's get all of this out of here. Out you come. Front bench, out you come. Yeah, just from the gold trail. Cape steering wheel. Front seat is just a lever 3, or lever C, should I say. And the gold trail rear bench. There we go. That's that nice and easy. But is that everything? 1% on there. Interior's at 20%. That's because there's more items than normal. Did we get everything? Nothing showing up on there, just as we like it. So the frame is at 21%, and we bought it for a little over 23,000. What do we reckon? I don't think this is going to sell for a lot, like a lot. So I'm going to go 750. 2,000. I was way off, but there we go. Let's jump in and check out the body shop. Now, the first thing I'll say is none of the China DLC has got any alternative parts. The only DLC cars are the drag racing DLC cars. There's 4 of them in total. 1, 2, 3. I've missed one. Where are we? 1, 2. Oh, there it is. 3 and 4 for the drag racing DLC, and then the Mazda RX-7's also got the trunk B on there as well with the better spoiler. But that's not what we came for. We came to see what's in the normal shop for the Longteng Fuyuan. Yeah, probably saying that wrong. But there we go. Just all like-for-like parts. Nothing can be swapped out, which is a bit of a shame. But it does mean we will be using the quality of life mod to try and change some of these bits if we can. So there we go. Let's get this beast all back together and get it into the paint shop. Let's get the Longteng all back together then and ready to go in to the paint shop. And let's see what we've got here then. So we've got the hood. We've got the 2 lovely fenders on the side. The hood's got this weird bit in the middle that always stays red. And I kind of like it. Kind of like it. On with that front bumper. On with the headlights there. And we got the windshield. On with these beautiful doors. These sides, we managed to repair them and looking nice. When we go with the mirror and all of these windows. Loving the size of that rear door there. Rear window, in you go. Then we've got the rear trunk. As I said, this is all like for like, so there's no optional parts available. Can't swap anything out to make it look different or anything like that. So let's just get it all in and hope that we can get it into the paint shop. And we have got everything. So when we go with all the windows and that mirror there, let's get in with the interior. I did keep it all exactly as it was. We may do some colour stuff with it a bit later on, but I just want to get it all back in as it was, because you've got this lovely beige in there, all matching. That's got a grey base, which is the only thing a bit disappointing. But the rest of the interior's got all of that sort of beige on there. So it looks good and it fits. Lots of wood in there. That's very wooden. That's the first time I've looked inside. But there we go. On to the license plates. For the license plates today, I just went with some VM plates with awards. Although it hasn't worked. It has. Wow, my license plate colour's gone all funny. Let's just try that again. That's meant to be in white lettering. It doesn't want to work. Why is this gone all funny all of a sudden? Let's try that again. No. Okay, for the time being, that doesn't want to work. We shall check that out a little bit later and see why the text on my license plate's gone all black instead of white. Let's just check some of my other cars. Yours has gone all black as well. I can't touch the others because they're all in official parking spots. So never mind. We'll leave that for the moment. We've got it all back together, though. Let's get this one into the paint shop, check out the new liveries, and see what we're going to do with ours. In the paint shop with our beautiful limousine. This is the colour it came in. It is looking quite nice. But let's check out some of the factory colours for it. We've got a lovely silver on there. Then we've got this pearl green. That's actually quite nice with the little red accent on there. Then the red in pearl, which I think is what we're going to stick with. Then we got this beautiful pearl yellow on there. Don't know what to call that shade of green, but a shade of green. Then a lovely little blue. And then this metallic beigey colour, which does go well with the interior. But I think we're going to go for that pearl red. Let's go in and check out the liveries then. In slot number 1, we've got a white lower half of the car. Not quite all the way around the back. Actually quite nice how that dips off at the back there. Looking good, liking that. Slot number 2 is the same but in black. That might be what we go for. That actually looks really good. Slot number 3 is a white roof. Is it just the white roof? Does look like it's just the white roof on there. And slot number 4 is the lettering down the side in the yellow. Not what we're going for, but I quite like it. Some people might use that one. Slot number 5. Wait. Okay, for some reason I've got duplicated liveries, so we'll ignore that. We're going to go back to this one here. That's the one I think I like, with the pearl red on the top and then this black down the bottom. That's looking quite nice. But while we are here, we're going to make sure we get the screws, and I'm going to go for a bronzy colour on these screws. I think this is about the best I can come up with for a bronzy colour. Not sure how it's going to turn out, so let's just get this bad boy painted. That's a weird thing that's happening on the screen right there. Get you painted, and then I think what we're going to do is, if I got anything in here that's got screws on it that I can just throw in just quickly to check. It doesn't look like it. I don't think we're going to be able to check that. We'll have to check it a little bit later, see how that bronzy colour came out. I do want to change a bit of this seat just to make that base that it sat on a bit darker to blend in with that. So rest of the interior, I think I'm going to leave it as it is. Maybe see if we can get some of that bronze colour on the steering wheel. And I think for the front bumpers, we're either just going to go black, or we might go for that bronzy colour on there. We'll see what works in just a minute. But we need to get everything painted, get this beast back onto the lifter, and start getting it all back together. That's everything painted, ready to go back together on the Longteng limousine. Few things have changed. I still haven't sorted out my license plate. Not sure what's going on there. But the front bumper is now in a black, matching in with the lower half of the livery. We've also got black around the headlights, looking quite nice, and the mirrors are now in black. If we go down to the back, we got black around the taillights as well, along with the black rear bumper, looking quite nice. And the very last piece is that seat. I did give it a black bottom, so it matches in with the rest of the interior there, looking quite nice. That's enough of that, though. Let's get it up in the air. Let's start getting some of this suspension all together. Starting with the shocks, we got steel black and some of that copper bronze. We're going to go bronze on this one today on the spring, looking quite nice. Now, we've got some TKAftermarket stuff on here, so let's start at the back, getting it in with this rear solid axle housing leaf spring on there. You can see that's in the steel black and bronze. We do have some internal parts to go in. Nip around to the front there is a pinion bearing. And let's just get all of this in, and then a pinion gear with another pinion bearing. Then the rear diff, in you go, along with some diff brackets on there and on there. You can see this is where the first sign of the screws coming in and that bronze comes up. The rear diff cover is also in the bronze, and lots of bronze screws around the edge. It is ever so slightly a different tone. These bits are a pearl colour, which is what we went for on the body. Couldn't do anything about that, whereas these are slightly more metallic rather than the pearl. That'll be it for the back for the time being. Can we get up the front, please? Thank you very much. Let's just throw on this cross member, which is in that beautiful bronze. And then we're going to crack on and get the rest of this all in with a few little clips. Well, there we go. All black and bronze for the underneath. Looking pretty good. I do like the leaf spring in the bronze there with everything sort of in the black on top of it. Looking quite nice. Liking that. Oh, I've just realised we missed a part from earlier. Let's get you on now. The rear diff pinion flange. On you go with some bronze elements in there. Still looking lovely. Up to the front, if I can get there, because this is a very long vehicle. In we go. At the front, it is exactly the same, except we've got a bronze cross member going into the black and then into the bronze for the knuckle, and then a bit more black. So just a bit more of the bronze at the front and a little less of the black. Down the back, more black, less bronze. Let's crack on, though. We've got a fuel tank to get in. Please let me get down the back. Thank you very much. The fuel tank is just in a lovely little black with the fuel pump in the bronze, just to keep with that theme going. Looking quite nice. I'm liking this. Let's get on, though. Let's get the other side all finished off, ready to go, so we can get back, sort out that engine bay, and go and build that beautiful V8. The suspension are looking beautiful in black and bronze. I am quite pleased with that one. I think it looks really nice and really shows the elegance of a limousine. But anyway, let's crack on and get the engine bay all sorted. We're going to start with the battery tray, which is just in a black. We've got the non-painted performance battery on there, the bracket on top in the black, and then the chrome brackets are in that bronze colour, looking absolutely fantastic. In you go, and in you go just there. Then we got the wishy-washy reservoir just up here. The brake servo, in you go. And then the last piece in the engine bay is the radiator, which we've done in a black. But there is a tiny splash of bronze just on that bit. That comes from where the screws are painted. Looking very good in there. Not much to it. I think this is going to take place with how good the engine's going to look. So let's go and build that beautiful engine. In we go. The V8 is on the stand. The block is in a steel black and that bronzy colour. The oil pan's just in a black, and the heads are also in steel black with that bronzy colour on the inside there. Obviously, we got the rocker arms and valve push rods, 8 on either side, so 16 in total. 4 spark plugs on either side, so 8 in total. They're all finished and ready to go. So let's crack on. We're going to go with the front. On with the cam gear. In you go. Then we've got a timing chain on top of that. And then the timing cover, which is just in a black. So far, not that much bronze, really. All accents. These bolts will obviously go that bronzy colour once we drop it inside the car. The fuel filter is in a bronze. The ignition coil isn't in anything because it looks good in the colour it's in. Plus these little bronze bits just really fit in with the build. The water pump is in a bronze. Untextured though, so it's still got all its original rough texture on there. Looking quite nice. Water pump pulley's in a black. The crankshaft pulley is in that bronze. That bolt will also go bronze as well. And the power steering pump is in steel black. It showed it was bronze. I tried to do it two-tone. That's why it didn't work on that one. Alternator is just in a straight-up black on there as well. Then we've got the belts. These are all blacked out as per normal, just using the same black that's on the car everywhere else. And then the radiator fan is also in a big black because these bolts are going to be bronze. So we just thought we'd leave it as it was like that, looking pretty good. The ignition distributor is in a black and a bronze. Not very much bronze on there. The rotor's not painted because it's going to get covered by the cap, which is also in a black. And then the clips are in a lovely bronze on there. Just finishing that off, looking quite nicely. We'll come back to the ignition cables in a bit. But the engine head covers are in a very shiny bronze. This is where I decided to change the depth of the bronze, make it a bit more metallic-y instead of that pearl because it was coming out a bit numb. Then I painted the rest of this. That is all in the same colour there. On we go with the engine head cover on the other side. Get you all bolted up. Now, obviously, these bolts will change to bronze when it goes in the car, although they will be that pearl effect bronze, not this metallic-y sort of effect, which is a bit of a shame, but there we go. Intake manifold, also in that bronze on there, looking very, very nice. A few more splashes of bronze at the top end. The carburetor is just in a black. Again, bolts are going to be bronze when it goes on. Then the air filter base is in the bronze with our red performance air filter. And the air filter cover also in that bronze, looking very nice. Ignition wires, they are in the bronze, just because I really think it adds to it. A little bit of bronze separating up all the black there, looking nice. Then the exhaust manifolds, these are in bronze with a bit of steel black on there, covering up the weld marks. Looking pretty good. In you go, round to the other side, and in you go just there. On we go, and then we can get this beautiful engine into the car and see how good it looks mixed with that red in the engine bay, because it is pretty red in there. So let's get it off the stand and let's get you dropped in and hope this looks good. Fingers crossed. In you go. Put the crane away. Can't really see much, just a little bit of bronze sticking out over the top. That's looking quite good in there. I'm liking that. Black and bronze. It even goes quite well with the red, if I'm being honest. Just jump up into the air a little bit there. Yeah, that's not looking too bad at all. And if we nip down, just want to see where the fan goes on. You can see they're not the same bronze. That's because they are a pearl finish instead of a metallic-y finish. But everywhere else, you can't really tell the difference. It's still looking pretty good. Liking that. Let's get you up in the air, though. Let's get the gearbox, drive shaft, and that exhaust all in and ready to go with this beautiful limousine that we are going to take drag racing just for fun. So let's get the gearbox in. I've kept that one in a black, but obviously you got them beautiful bronze bolts. I'm loving this feature. I'm not going to lie. Then we've got the starter, which is in a bronze with some bronze bolts. And then the exhaust pipes are bronze and steel black. So the front exhaust sections get that little sheathing in the black there. Then the middle muffler, which isn't the middle muffler because we've got the resonator delete pipe. They do get two-tone bronze and black as well, which looks pretty good in there. And then the actual rear exhaust pipes, rear mufflers, are in a bronze and black. You've got main bits of black on there, and then the tips out the back in the bronze. Looking very good. In you go. Then for our drive shaft, you can obviously see this is an aftermarket one. We've gone for the carbon one again because it gives the most power. And I do want to have a decent run on the drag strip, but we've got it in the bronze and that carbon fibre on there, as you can see, looking pretty good. In we go. I'm liking that. Let's take a step away, though, crouch down and walk out from underneath. Lots of bronze, a little bits of black separating it up, and I actually think it looks pretty good, in my opinion. There we go. Let's get you back down on the ground, though. We got some windows to tint, definitely on a limousine, some liquids to top up, and we got to choose some beautiful real wheels for this limousine. Well, here she is then, all finished with the Longteng I'm not even going to try and say that one again, but there we go, the Longteng limousine. Looking pretty nice. The only thing I've really changed is when I tinted the windows, was I tinted these just a little bit, take some of the colour out of them. Just it looks a little nicer at the back, in my opinion. But there we go. That engine in there looks so good. I absolutely love it. But anyway, onto these rims. We went for the rim at 9A today. And the front here is an 18-inch rim with a 215 width and a 45 profile on there. Just about not clipping with that brake caliper in there and looking pretty good. I'm liking that. Down the back, same rim of the 9A, but we've gone for, it's still an 18-inch rim, but it's 245 width, just a little bit wider at the back, still with a 45 profile on there. And if we just open up the whole inside, I really do love suicide doors. They're absolutely incredible. I'm loving all the seating arrangement. You can't sit on the rear bench, but you can sit on this one here, which I quite enjoy. This is my riding position when we go to the award shows that I've not been invited to, but never mind. But there we go. I'm liking the interior in there. So let's take a seat in the front. The seating position is a little bit low, in my opinion, and we are actually sat inside the seat. So that's that could do with a little bit of adjustment. I will let the guys know, but there we go. As for the wood in here, I love it. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. I'm not sure about the side on the doors there, but it still looks good nonetheless. But let's get this one started, see what this V8 sounds like. Nice grumble. Obviously, we've heard it before. Let's just give it some gas. Imagine hearing that coming from a limousine racing past you. You'd be a bit worried. I know I would be. But let's get this beast onto the dyno, see what its horsepower is and what its drag rating will be. on the dyno with the Longteng Fuyuan or something along those lines, with its V8 engine with 269 factory horsepower. How much have we added today, and what will this beast of a limo's drag rating be? A gain of 235 horsepower, 88%. Obviously not as high as we've definitely been getting recently, but this one doesn't have an ECU, and I do believe the ECU is what normally gives us quite a high number from the tunage there, bringing us up to 504 total horsepower, which isn't too bad. I'm sure we'll be able to do a lot in the D class of the drag rating. D186 is what this one's ended up with, and not too bad. Definitely glad we're not up in the A class, because I think this will be a bit of a fairer competition. But let's have a look at the gearbox tuning setup. This is what we've gone for today. It's a 3.2 ratio, and I would just ignore all of these speeds because it's not even close to any of that. In fact, it's not much more than that is the top speed I think we're going to get out of this vehicle today. But there we go. I think that might be something to do with the RPM mod. It could be something to do with all of the mods I've got installed, like the TKAftermarket or the quality of life. I'm not 100% sure. Let me know in the comments if you've got much more realistic numbers showing up there for your speeds. Now, don't forget, we do have the one tunable carburetor in this one. Ours is tuned up to 3%, only the one, but there is a short just up here if you want to learn how to easily tune the carbs. Or you could just find the shorts on my channel, but linked in the description below is the carb and ECU tuning shorts if you want to go and find them. But let's get this beautiful limousine onto the drag strip and see if we can win a drag tournament with a limo. Well, here we are. We're back at the drag strip. It's been a while since we've been here, and the first car we're back with is a limousine from the China DLC. Not even going to try and pronounce the name. Let's get into it and see what sort of competition we've got today. King of the Sands, 1 mile. We're definitely only going in D class. Only 400 entry fee. Not too bad. Let's get that paid and see who we've got with us today. Buckshot's in there. Lovely to see that in an Emden Jaeger. We've got Matteo in the Ford F100. Who else have we got with us? Yep, not even saying that. There we go, just to be on the safe side. Our first race is against the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo. So that could be quite interesting. A limousine versus an Evo. Probably not an easy race, but let's get on with it. Let's see if we can win our first race. Realistically, I think we all know who's going to win this race, but I'm hoping we might be able to pull it back with our beautiful limousine against the Mitsubishi Evo. I'm not sure, though, so let's just get in. Let's go. Come on, you little limo. Off the line. Into second, I reckon about there. Maybe a bit early, but I'm not sure. We'll find out. Does still feel like the Evo isn't pulling away. Oh, it is. Oh, we're pretty evenly matched. That's not too bad. I mean, I feel like we're going to lose this first race, which is definitely a shame. I hate losing the first race, but there we go. Off that little Evo goes. As you can see, the speeds and the gears do not line up at all from the gearbox ratios. It's not even close. I think 175 it said in first gear. We're only just coming into 200 kilometers an hour. We have lost our first race, sadly, to the beautiful little Evo. I kind of was expecting it. But there we go. We just paid 400 credits to get our ass handed to us by a Mitsubishi Evo. Not quite what I had in mind. But there we go. Quarter of a mile at 14.358 seconds. Yeah, that's a thing. The 1 mile at 37.541 seconds with a top speed of 207 kilometers an hour. Now, we will do 2 more 1v1s. Obviously not in the competition because we are already out, which is a bit of a shame. But there we go. We're going to see who's going to take it in this competition. And then we'll do our 2 1v1s. Well, both Buckshot and Matteo are out, which is a bit of a shame. But let's just keep going through and see who's going to end up taking the lead. Sadly, the Lotus Esprit has made it through. We've got a few different cars in there. We've got the red interior 300 SL, which is the competition car. You don't have to do the red interior version, but it is the competition car if you want to enter into that one. So let's see how far that can make it. Is it going to make it into the next round? It is not. It's already out. We've got the Lotus Esprit S1 versus the Chieftain Bandit Shiv Edition. Who's going to take the final victory? It is the Lotus Esprit S1 in Hilter, driven by Hilter, not the other way around. But there we go. We went out in the first round. Absolutely 0 credits for us, which does put us an additional 400 down. On top of the 4,700 we were down at the very beginning. But anyway, we're going to do 2 quick 1v1s and get this beautiful limo back to the garage. Back at the main entrance. Should call it the main menu, but I like the main entrance for some 1v1s. We're going to stick with the 1 mile. We're going to do 3 randomizations. 1, 2, 3, and we're up against the Audi Quattro Sport. What version is this? The full carbon edition. Is better than us. Should vary at the top end of the D-Class. But let's see if we can beat it on the drag strip. Honestly, I do think this is going to be the second loss for the limo, but there is only one way to find out. The Quattro is still currently top of the gravel lap times board, so if you've got an off-road car you think you'll be able to beat it, let me know in the comments so we can come back to that some point soon. But for now, let's try and beat it in a drag race in a limousine. Let's go. Off the line. Come on, you beautiful little limo. Into second. Into third, maybe at some point in the near future. There we go, into third. Where are we? We're in the lead. We are beating the Quattro as it stands at the moment, but we've still got a long old way to go, so that could all change. Although I'm hoping not. It'd be nice to get a win under our belt with the beautiful limousine at some point. Into top gear. I can hear it. It doesn't seem to be gaining on us as it stands at the moment. Come on, little limo. Keep this lead. Keep the victory. We want to win in the limousine. Let's just get across the line. Come on, you beautiful little beast. Across the line. And what sort of times and speeds have we got for this one? 14.395 for the quarter of a mile. Not as quick as our first run. Although, as quick, I don't think is the correct words to use there. But never mind. 37.510 for the 1 mile. That is slightly better than our first run. So that's a good thing to see. Top speed, still the same at 207 kilometers an hour. One more 1v1, just so we got 3 base times to get down, and then we'll be back at the garage. Here we go then. 3 more randomizations. 1, 2, and 3. We're against the Ford Mustang 40th anniversary GT edition, which is actually a little bit lower than us in the drag rating. So maybe, just maybe, a Chinese limo is going to beat the 40th anniversary Grand Tourer Ford Mustang. Lovely Ford Mustang. Great livery on it as well. The greyed out stripes on that red body. Whatever you want to call it. Burgundy, I reckon, is probably closer. We've got red on the beautiful limousine. Red and black versus red and grey. Who is going to win? Final race of the day for us. So let's get in. Let's go. Come on, limo. Don't let us down now. You let us down in the tournament. But let's just get these 1v1s out of the way with 2 wins under our belts. Maybe. Maybe. Where are we? We are in the lead. We are beating the Mustang as it stands at the moment, and I'm definitely happy about that. Sort of. I love the Mustang. But right now I'm racing in a limo, so that's the car I want to win. Normally, I'd be rooting for the Mustang. Oh, forgot the gear change. Make sure we get into top gear. Please don't let that be our downfall. My sad mistake be our downfall in this. But there we go. We're going to make it to the line. We are still in the lead at the moment. Hopefully this will be our best run of the day. Probably not with that gear change though. So let's get across the line. What have we got from this last run then? 14.368. Not beating our first run, which was a 14.358. There we go. 37.628 to the 1 mile. Not beating our first run or our last run. My bad gear change. That's on me. And the top speed, only 206 kilometers an hour for this final run. So there we go. The one that will be going on the board was our first run with a 14.358 to the quarter of a mile, 37.541 to the 1 mile, and a top speed of 207 kilometers an hour. I think this should be right down the bottom. I don't know how many cars we got on the drag strip at the moment. I think it's close to 100. Let's find out. Let's get this back to the garage, see where it will sit on the speeder board, and see if we can sell it on for a tasty bit of profit. That black and bronze engine looking absolutely fantastic. Shame it wasn't that good on the drag strip. 14.358 to the quarter of a mile. 37.541 seconds to the 1 mile with a top speed of 207 kilometers an hour. Pits it 92nd out of 94 cars we've done on the speeder board now. Not the greatest, but we'll settle for it. It is one of them things. Just is what it is. But let's talk some facts and figures. Obviously, we bought the car for $23,750 right at the beginning and could have sold it at a loss of $4,700. And we also lost out $400 on the drag strip as well, which is a bit of a shame. But it does pit our total spend. We've further since spent $56,439 upgrading, modifying and tuning the car, bringing the total spend for this beautiful limousine at $80,189. Is there some room for a nice little bit of profit in the sale price for this car? There is only one way to find out. Let's get in. Let's take a look. Well, there it is, all 100% finished. The first of the China DLC. Now, personally, I'm actually really enjoying this. Obviously, the one car only came out today or yesterday as you're watching this, but today, so I've had a play. I'm enjoying it with this first car. We'll have to wait and see what I think of the next car on the remaining cars to go. But as far as this Longteng goes, it's absolutely fantastic. It obviously isn't designed for racing, drag racing, off-road racing, or track racing in any way, shape, or form. But we decided to do it anyway, just for a bit of fun. And it obviously wasn't that good, but the car itself is pretty good. I'm quite impressed with it, if I'm being honest. Anyway, let's talk some more. Obviously, we got a bit more horsepower out of that engine, 235 to be precise, 88% from 269 up to 504 horsepower. But we spent 80,189 to get there. Is there some profit? With a sale price of 168,522, there is definitely some profit. More than we spent. The profit is 88,333. So not too shabby from the limousine. Yeah, it's a bit long. And sometimes when you're jumping back and forth, pitting the suspension together, that's a little bit annoying. But apart from that, which is just one of them things in the game, any long vehicle struggles with that. This one's just a little bit longer than most. But I have definitely really enjoyed it. Glad I played it. But we're going to sell you off now. Off you go, you beautiful little limo. What have we got coming up next? Well, if we head over to our truck where they should always be, this is the next one. And I'm not going to try and pronounce it. We're going to call it the Thing, the Jeep Thing, not the Volkswagen Thing, because that's a different vehicle. This is going to be called the Jeep Thing to us from now on. It is officially called that, and I'm not even going to attempt it. It's shy of getting killed. But there we go. We got it from the auction house, as we always pretty much do. It's in half-decent condition, and it does have the i4 1.6-litre single overhead cam, rear-wheel drive engine, with 138 factory horsepower. Hopefully, we'll be able to increase that one, and I'm undecided whether we should even attempt to take this one around the gravel track. If you guys want to see it, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I might just drag race it, bearing in mind it is rear-wheel drive. But there we go. Did we get a good deal? Absolutely not, but better than we got on the limousine. 10,938 is what we paid, and we can sell it at a loss for 10,339, losing out on 589. But there we go. This is what we are going to be working on next time. There'll be no What the Friday this week because we've got new DLC to play with, and that doesn't get interrupted. It will do by the competition build, but that's a separate entity. So no What the Friday this week, and probably no What the Friday next week either. But we will be back for one more City Skylines video after that, so we can see where we've ended up with our City Skylines build. Doesn't look like too many of you are enjoying it too much, so we may stop City Skylines for a minute and see what else we can play on What the Friday. But for now, join us back here on Friday where we'll be doing this Jeep Thing, whatever you want to call it, from the China DLC. It's pretty cool. It's pretty funky. Do you think we should do it on the gravel track or the drag strip? Do let me know in the comments. What did you think of the Longteng limousine? I will pronounce that one because it seems relatively easy to pronounce. There we go. Let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts on the rest of the China DLC? So far, one car in. I am enjoying it, but always happy to hear what you think below. Do leave a cheeky little like if you did enjoy it. Don't forget to make sure you are subscribed and share this video with anyone you think might enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching this very jumpy outro. I don't know what the hell's going on here, but it is one of them things. Have a beautiful day, whatever it is you're getting up to. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Like and subscribe for Virtual Mechanic.